Good morning, Facebook.
Are you doing the YouTube as well?
No, I didn't get the restream thing. That'll be next time, hopefully.
Beyond the Routine is now live. Tune in for season
3,
episode
2. Jesse's back.
Jesse's back. Are you back, Jesse? It's like a backpack thing.
Jesse's back.
My contract was reinstated, and I guess you had room after you dropped that other guy's contract.
Did we nullify the other
yeah,
contract?
it was nullified.
Wait, what?
I took it out and urinated on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's brutal, dude.
Right? It's pretty bad.
That's really brutal. Oh my goodness.
Who's playing stuff? Are you? Where's that coming from? Oh, it's coming from me. Hold on. Why is it coming from me? That's the question.
Because you have your speakers on?
Yeah, this isn't muted. That's my bad.
Oh, wow. That's loud.
Okay.
That's hard, too.
All right. Let me see here.
Ribbit. Play that funky music. Is it beer 30 yet?
Yeah, is it beer 30 yet?
Good question. Is it beer 30 yet? Oh. How's everybody doing today?
Good, Dave. How are you?
We have 2 minutes until launch of BtR, Season 3, Episode 2. Hello, Facebook fans out there. Facebook peoples, our loved ones, cared for. We appreciate you.
Apparently, I downloaded those already, so okay.
Apparently, you downloaded what already? The new,
Yeah.
the new thingamajiggies? The doohickeys?
Yeah.
The thingamabobs? Do you have 20 of them?
I got a lot of them.
I got 20.
No, Venti is 20. Sorry.
But who cares? No big deal.
Do you want more?
I want more.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say you wanted more. Jesse always wants more.
I do.
How do I rename?
And I knew he was going to sing it too.
Rename.
Well, you kind of led me into it.
Well,
you started it.
It was my fault, I know. Was that the other day that we did that too? On the way up to...
Last night?
Last night, yeah.
The other day, when it was last night. Good job, Dave.
Hey, shut up.
Hey, Dave, should we talk about how you can't work a knob?
I didn't see that it went up. I'm like yanking on this thing. It's like, what? What does it do? I don't get it.
I never thought I would make Mark Parker laugh out loud.
You did it, though.
I totally did it. Then I'm like, oh, wow, you work in IT? Yeah, it was at Dave's expense, but I still made him laugh out loud.
It was funny. Yeah, it was good. That's all right. Mark is good to laugh at me. Anytime I can make Mark smile is a happy day for me.
Stephen, I'm muting your laptop just in case it doesn't, start auto-playing on a tab. Because I hate web pages that do that, especially when you're on a podcast.
Hey-o.
I know some people that happens to.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Dave. So you're in IT? Yeah, I'm in IT.
You haven't hit your move goal yet.
Which is weird because I was told I hit my my Fitbit step goal. I have 13,000 steps, but according to my Google Fit, I only have 11,000 steps. So one of them is wrong, and I blame Jones.
Well, they're never even on mine. Sometimes I'll hit one and the other, and then it could be the other way around. I'll hit this one and not this one.
Yeah, it's
and
very
this
frustrating.
It's
I'll make sure I get it, though.
Dun, 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 dun,
I'm taking
dun.
tracks home tonight, so I got to run over to the track station and hop on tracks there, and then get off at the next stop and get back on the next train, and then, so on and so on and so on and so forth.
Do you need a ride?
Jesse's got a car.
No, I have tracks.
Just offering.
For those on Facebook Live, we're running just a tad behind.
As is standard operating procedure from what I heard last week.
Kind of is, pretty much.
Well,
we have an actual excuse this time, though, right?
what's the excuse?
We were busy.
Aren't we always busy?
Yeah, true that.
Okay, then. What are we talking about today?
I think we shall talk about...
Are we going to talk about blockchain technology?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not in real detail.
I want somebody to explain it to me in layman's terms so I actually
Well, we're going to do that
understand
whiteboard thing. Remember with the video?
it. When are we doing that?
Soon.
I don't believe you.
Well, you can suck it.
You can suck it? Wow. Jones is on a roll today, folks. Just tell you what, on a roll. He's also feeling incredibly lazy. Apparently he wanted me to chauffeur him around.
Yeah, it was awesome. Dave totally drove me around today.
All over the place. He just handed me the keys and said, "You drive." It's pretty funny.
I was not having it.
It's all right. I like to drive. It's good.
Yeah, I know Dave likes it. Right. Okay. All right, we're just going to go ahead and get started here.
Are you sure? Are you ready?
Yeah,
Are you
I
really
think
ready?
so.
Are you really, really, really ready? Do we have anyone posting on our Beyond the Routine live?
The Dominican intern, our biggest fan, O, he's on. Hi, O.
What are you touching me for?
Well, without saying it out loud, can you type that in?
I don't know what it is.
Julie almost didn't recognize
know what it is.
Chris.
Don't say it out loud.
Yes.
Type that in.
It is.
Type that in for him.
This one. Okay.
Sweet.
Whoa. Is that me again?
Don't say it out loud.
Is that you? That's
Might
you.
be me.
That's Dave.
Type that in for him.
That was Dave this time. Wasn't me.
I was trying to see. Well, that's kind of frustrating. How am I supposed to see the? Okay, never mind.
Just turn your volume down and then you can.
Yes, dear.
I'm just saying.
Yes, dear.
That was Dave this time. Wasn't me.
Okay, Dave. The volume.
I just turned it down.
It's the one on the
I
left.
just turned it down.
Just for the
Repeatedly.
record, I muted mine.
Thank you, Jesse.
Just for the record.
Just for the record.
All right. So.
So Julianne posted, "Wow, I almost didn't recognize Chris."
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, you're looking extremely thin today. I'm
Chris
telling
has
you what.
officially surpassed me in my weight loss by about 100 and some odd pounds.
This is Chris's left leg.
Good on you.
He left it behind when he went on a trip.
Okay, we're getting ready to start the recording in 3, 2, 1, and go.
The show for hip nerds with a love for everything geek.
That was loud.
Collectibles,
That's my bad.
sports, fashion, and of course food. What? They may have lost a few 100 pounds, but they'll always be fat to me. What? No, that's fat with a PH. This is Beyond the Routine with Chris, Jones, and some guy named Dave.
Oh, that was well done.
I'm
I like that
digging
music.
these new
Oh my
intros,
gosh,
Pete.
that
Thank
was
you so
very
much.
nice, yeah.
Big shout out to Pete. All right, well, I am Jones.
And I'm Chris. And by the way, if you guys aren't watching live, I have had my best weight loss week ever.
Yeah, it was like he dropped like 200 some odd pounds in a week. It was great.
I'm rocking
Insane. Insane.
Good on you, Chris.
I've heard when you lose that much weight that quickly, it comes back, though.
And guess who else is here?
Oh, yeah, this Dave. Hey.
Hi, Dave.
How we doing?
Good. All right. Well, let's start off with our all-time favorite segment.
Absolutely.
This one. Maybe. Oh God.
You have to turn up the volume.
It's broken. That one doesn't work. Whatever shall I do?
You have to turn up the volume.
No, it's not the volume. It says that the file cannot be found. There we go. Let's
They
do that
just
one.
couldn't give you enough in one segment, so they're gonna go off on their own. It's time for Week in Review, where they discuss the big news from the week, even personal experiences. Hopefully, more news from the week.
Personal experience.
Hopefully, more news from the week.
No. Everybody likes personal experiences.
So, I'm going to go ahead and let Jesse start this one off because, frankly, he's got a lot going on over there.
I do, yes. So if you haven't figured it out by now, I'm not really Chris. I'm Jesse.
Jesse, he's
I'm
back.
I'm that guy who used
He's
to be on this show
way back
when nobody watched it.
when nobody cared.
Before we
Yeah.
were YouTube famous.
Yes.
Yep, way back before then. So I haven't been here for a while. You guys went on hiatus or whatever. Lots of things have happened, but there's just one thing that I wanted to mention that I noticed Dave didn't bring up last week.
I didn't,
And
and I was schooled for it.
Yeah, because I was so excited. If you're not, for those on the live, I finally completed the Kessel Run.
The Kessel Run.
And it,
Dun, dun, dun.
I didn't do it in under 12 parsecs though.
Do you know,
and
though?
I'm kind of disappointed, actually.
I'm
How
sorry.
many minutes in a parsec?
Well, the thing of it is I don't know because it's supposed to be distance, not time.
Ah.
Really, that was a quote that was misplaced in Star Wars. Everybody really knows that, but not the.
So it was a who could do the Kessel Run in the shortest distance, not the shortest time?
Yeah, I
Essentially?
think that's an ongoing Star Wars debate.
Oh, ongoing going on. All right, we won't get into that.
But yeah, if you don't know what the Kessel Run was, I've been planning it since February of last year, ever since I found out about the Star Wars races. What it is you have to do within the same calendar year, you have to run a half marathon at Disneyland in January. Dave talked about it on the show that we completed that. He got the Kessel Run too, by the way. And then you had to do the half marathon, Star Wars half marathon at Disney World.
Yes.
So
these are both Star Wars themed half marathons.
Yep. So you get a coast-to-coast medal for just doing any half marathon, but if you do both the Star Wars, then you get the Kessel Run. And like I said, I've been looking forward to it for so very, very long, and I finally achieved it. And
Yes.
I'm thrilled about it.
That's awesome.
Just so you know, we'll film another video. It's going on the BtR page, right, on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what
Yep,
we're doing?
yep.
So I'll show off all my medals. I'll actually talk about what it took to achieve it, how the runs work, and everything like that. But I just wanted to bring that up right now, and that was basically it with me.
Yeah, so we'll have a great kind of not overly showing off of medals, but it'll also be a little tutorial on what each of the medals mean, how the whole Disney Marathon kind of thing works, and what you can do to get what medals. We'll have Jesse do a video on that for us. It'll be on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Beyond the Routine. Check us out, subscribe, like, comment, all the good stuff. All right, Dave, what do you got in your week?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Excellent.
I mean, well, Jesse talked about our visit to to Disney
During
World.
the hiatus.
It was my first visit to Disney World.
Yes.
And I didn't really talk about that, but I did go with Jesse, and I did that, and it was a lot of fun. So
had a good time
we're
overall.
going back.
Gonna go back.
Absolutely, we're gonna do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I would love to hit the Disney World. My wife and I both would, and we would like to do it without the kids. Is that rude?
It's better without the kids,
Right?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Parker, I think, is still a little young for that massive of a place, in my opinion.
It's a lot of walking, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We-
It is.
Yeah, we cover.
And this is the kid.
What was it? We hit like 45 steps and 45,000 steps.
45,000 steps on the day. Well, that
In
was
a
the day
day.
we had that
when
half
we did
marathon,
the half marathon.
Oh, with the half marathon.
and then walking around the park.
Yeah, the thing with Parker is the kid can literally leave the house at sunup, like out with a soccer ball, whatever, play all day long, running around the neighborhood, running around, playing soccer, baseball, whatever it is, right? Not see him until dinner time. Like, kid, I don't know, maybe go somewhere for lunch, maybe he just doesn't eat. I have no idea. Shows up at dinner time, eats, and then's back out until dark, and then comes back in. This is Parker, right?
Yep.
The minute we go grocery shopping, 3 steps in the door at the grocery.
He's dead.
My legs hurt. Oh my gosh, I can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Parker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not thinking that the whole Disney World thing is the best
Maybe
bet right
when he's
now.
a little bit bigger, he can ride a lot of the fun rides.
I'm thinking like 12 for him,
Yeah.
and then by that time Allie's like 15.
when he can
so,
ride
yeah.
the Rock and Roller Coaster and some of those other really fun roller coaster rides.
Yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my gosh.
And plus, when they're that age, they'll be fascinated by some of the more educational stuff at Epcot Center.
Yeah,
They
Epcot
would
would be a
really
lot
like
more
that.
meaningful for him. Yeah,
because
I
that's
think
not
so.
too fun for the really young kids.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. All right, well let's get right into the tech news. This is a new bumper as well. Thanks, Pete.
Tech news. When it comes to cutting edge technology, Chris and Jones are all over it. Doodads and information with tech news.
Doodads and information.
Loving it. All right, so this is actually a follow up from last week's story. Previously on Beyond the Routine, we talked about Uber and the turmoil in the CEO, COO, CIO, CTO, CFO, and legal counsel ranks.
The driverless company,
Yeah.
the driverless car company
Well,
that is
yeah.
leaderless as well.
Leaderless as well, and
Yes.
yeah. So, despite that internal struggle, Uber is still a very popular service.
Yes, it is.
It's not affecting their business. As a matter of fact, they've recently announced that they hit their 5 billion trip mark in May.
Wow.
That's billion with a B, folks.
Wow.
To give you a little perspective on that, they hit 1 billion rides in late 2015, and 2 billion about a year ago, 2016. They hit 2 billion. So in 1 year, they've hit 3 billion more for a total of 5 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's pretty impressive.
That's really amazing.
So basically, they figure it was about 156 Uber rides that began simultaneously around the world that were that 5 billionth ride. Essentially, all the 5 billionth ride, there were 156 of them that started at about the same time.
That could have been it.
Yeah, it could have been it essentially. So each of those drivers of the 156 rides that were started at the same time will be given $500 by the company as a thank you.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
300 billion rides over the course of a year is a pretty exceptional amount. And if the company can get it together a little bit, who knows how many rides they'll give in the next year? You know.
You know what's pretty amazing is it's still a successful company without a CIO and
Yeah,
a
like,
CTO and a CEO.
It's
and a
like you said, it's driverless.
It's
driverless
like,
company.
Oh my gosh.
Who's paying the people's paychecks? The CFO's gone.
All of the regular people that do their jobs. It just tells you how unimportant it is to have a CEO and
So
a
we don't
CFO.
need executives?
Yeah,
at
I think
companies?
that's
If we get rid of
essentially it.
That's what we need to do. Everybody needs to go fire the executives of their companies.
Sorry,
And-
Steven. You're out.
No. Big companies.
Big companies.
No, little companies.
Little
just-
companies still need the executives.
He's not only the CEO. He's the CIO. He's the CFO. He's
all
all
of
them.
the above.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
If Steven goes away, the company goes away.
That makes sense. All right.
Yes, that's different.
But yeah, they so anyways, Uber's still very effective. How many times have you guys all used Uber? Jesse, how many times have you Ubered?
Once.
You've Ubered once?
I used it once to get from Pearl Harbor to Waikiki Beach.
Oh, you were an Uber in Hawaii. Very
Hawaii,
good.
yes.
Dave still is Uberless.
I am still an Uber virgin.
Uber virgin. I myself have used the Uber service twice, but only been in the car once for one of those. Did you guys hear this story?
Is this where you Ubered something down to your
Yeah,
house?
I used Uber as a courier service.
Yes.
I'm surprised they would allow that because who knows what. Is this one of those situations where you gave them a
It was-
crate
it was
and then
not-
you said,
it
do
was-
not, do not
it
look
wasn't-
in
It
the
wasn't a
crate.
box.
It wasn't a body-sized duffel bag that I like put in the guy's trunk and says, "Whatever you do, don't open that and take this to Lehigh." No, it was car keys. I'd taken my wife's and my car keys that day.
You turned him into the transporter.
Yeah, that was pretty much
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
And you know,
It was you should have had him film it so that you could see if it was like the transporter.
totally. So
That'd be
yeah,
awesome, right?
and honestly, you know, it's a great service. I truly believe they are saving lives from a drinking and driving standpoint. I really do.
Yes.
You know, with how easy it is and how quick they get there, it's really, you know, stupid to not just hit that Uber button on your phone. The guy's there in like 3 minutes. It's amazing how many of these guys are just out driving around waiting for a rider. So, yeah, good on you, Uber. Moving on to the next story. Man goes live on Facebook as he drives into the 10 Commandments monument in Arkansas Capitol.
Oh, this is like the third one he's destroyed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't the first time this guy's done this.
Yeah, he's done it multiple times. You hear
Yeah.
about this?
So first of
Same
all,
monument.
No, 3 different monuments in 3 different states.
But it's the same. It's the
same.
10 Commandments monument.
It's a
so-
Ten Commandments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they put up these, and that's a whole separate argument that's being had, because they're going up on government property that's really public property.
Well, and let's clarify, they aren't going up. They've been up.
Yeah.
These are things that have been up for decades, right?
This one was new.
Was it
the
new?
one in Arkansas was new?
Okay, but
the other one that he hit had been there.
They've
a while.
been there a long time. Yeah. But they're on like courthouse yards, and they have the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
And so they're controversial, and they're in litigation, right, to get them removed right now.
Yeah, because it's a whole separation of church and state argument, essentially, is what they
So
want.
obviously this guy has a problem with them.
Yeah, he's had this
Apparently.
32-year-old Michael Tate Reed of Van Buren, Arkansas, was arrested immediately after the crash. It was a 6-foot monument that was left in multiple pieces, and it had just been installed the day before on the Capitol grounds.
Oh
in
my
Little
gosh,
Rock.
that is awesome.
Yeah. So on the brief Facebook video that ended up from Facebook Live that was posted to Reed's page early Wednesday, the Capitol Dome is seen through the windshield. A voice is heard in the background saying, "Where do you go when you're faced with adversity and trials and challenges?" And then a man's voice, believed to be Reed's, is yelling, "Freedom!" as he drives his Dodge Dart into the 6,000-pound monument at about 21 miles an hour.
Wait, he's driving a Dodge Dart?
Dodge Dart.
That is
And-
awesome.
Well, no, what makes this even better is if it was the original Dart, right,
Oh,
and not
that
the
would-
new one. That would make it even better.
That would have
Yeah.
made it a
Yeah,
classic.
but it
right
doesn't
there.
list the year, so unfortunately I can't say that. But yeah, and as Dave said, this is not the first time the guy has done this. He hit one in Tennessee as well.
It's the third time, actually.
Third time, yeah.
He's hit 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 years ago he hit the 10 Commandments replica outside of Oklahoma's capital as well. He was not formally charged at that time, though. Instead, was treated for mental health issues. Big surprise. In the latest incident, Reed reportedly set up a GoFundMe campaign to raise $20,000 to purchase a new vehicle after the caper.
That is awesome.
I don't know the status of that, but go check out GoFundMe for this one, folks.
If you want to support a guy who runs into monuments, go for
Yeah.
it.
No, so the reason that I chose this story I wanted to talk about was people doing the stupidest stuff, illegal stuff on Facebook Live.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about.
Right?
Like that guy who killed
Yeah.
someone.
On
And
Facebook
you know,
Live.
I mean, killing somebody, you're probably, maybe you're obviously going to get caught, but maybe it's more of a statement at that point. You don't care if you get caught. But some of these, they're doing the things and just not realizing that, holy cow, I'm committing a crime and recording it at the same time,
It's like,
right?
yeah, you're providing evidence
Yeah.
of your crime so you can get caught and charged.
Yeah, bam. It's just, people, it's the world we live in now,
People
essentially.
aren't very smart.
SMRT, essentially, is what that goes with. Okay, this is another good one that I put on here mainly for discussion purposes, and you guys, we can talk about this, but Google, the Canadian top court orders Google to alter worldwide search results. You guys hear about this one?
No.
What?
So, yeah. A small Canadian firm has acquired an injunction against Google from the Supreme Court of Canada that is being called the first global de-indexing order. So, Ecustech, a Vancouver-based maker of networking devices, sued a former distributor called Datalink Technologies. Ecustech accused Datalink of illegally relabeling their products and stealing Ecustech's intellectual property to make its own products. Datalink initially denied the allegations, but then left the province. So they are like, no, we didn't do it. Oh, we're gone. And they kind of vanished into midair. But it still continues to do business, selling products worldwide from an unknown location, according to Canadian courts. So this led Ecustech, man, that's a tough. I'm not even going to buy them because I can't pronounce them. But seeking court orders forcing Google to rearrange its search results. Some 345 Datalink web pages have been de-indexed from Google's Canadian site. So Google.ca, right?
Right.
They've been gone. But per various, and that's from these various court orders. But a court in British Columbia issued a broader order, insisting that Google stop listing Datalink's entire website anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
You can do that?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, and the Canadian Supreme Court upheld that order today.
Why?
Here's what I don't get, right? How do they have the power to say what can be viewed in the Netherlands or Germany or England or wherever, right? Or here,
in
yeah.
the U.S.
As far as I'm aware, they can't.
Right. So this is, and they're calling it, the ruling is the first global de-indexing order. And we, Google at this point's response is, we are carefully reviewing the court's finding and evaluating our next steps. So it actually hasn't been done. They've just been ordered to do it, right? So it's...
You have to wonder how far the courts can extend in that type of thing.
Yeah, so the won by a 7-2 vote. The Canadian justices rejected the idea that the worldwide order was a threat to free speech. So that was the first thing that people said. It was a threat against free speech, and no, they determined that it wasn't. But you don't typically hear about Canada in this light, where they're saying they're better than everybody and they can rule what's right for the world type of thing. The U.S. typically does that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
that's our job.
That's our job.
Canada, quit stepping on our toes.
Wow.
So, no, it was a very interesting story, and I don't know that this thing is going to hold any weight whatsoever. Google itself, does their own de-indexing of kiddie porn and other illegal,
Yep.
Things like that. They definitely do a de-indexing of that kind of stuff, and rightfully so. But, anything that has not been 100% deemed illegal everywhere, right? Because relabeling items and selling them is not illegal in some countries, plain and simple, right? So if Data Link Technologies wants to do that and sell to countries that don't have any kind of laws against that, who's Google to, who's Canada to say they can't, number one, and who's Google to de-index them from that country?
There has
just
to be
for that reason.
Wouldn't that have to go up to the World Court? Isn't the whole idea what the World Court's for?
That's it. But Canada's just saying that, they're taking judge, jury, and executioner on this one.
Interesting.
So thought that was pretty interesting from that. But yeah, Canada, to come out of Canada, especially, like I said, I can totally see our Supreme Court doing something like this. That would not surprise me at all. You guys follow CES this year? Many of you get in, see what the CES had going on?
I did a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you see the best of CES winner in the television category? Did you guys see what this was?
No.
So LG wins the best of CES 2017 with its 77-inch wallpaper TV. Did you guys hear about this one?
Ooh.
So
Wallpaper TV?
wallpaper TV. The screen is 1/5 of an inch thick.
Interesting.
Yeah, 1/5 of an inch. That's less than a quarter, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what... You sure 1/5 is less than 1/4?
Hello, Mr. Obvious. So, but that's pretty dang amazing. You have a TV hanging on your wall,
That thin.
right? That's just
There.
very thin. So the W series picture on the wall TVs wowed us at CES, but we knew they had the 65-inch and the 77-inch hyper thin screens. They were going to cost a pretty penny, and it's officially been released now.
$20,000.
$20,000 for the 77-inch.
So I won't be picking on one
And
soon.
only wall mountable on these bad boys. Sorry, all you stand fans. These will not be available on stands. And the wall mounts is pretty cool. It's via magnets.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah, because you're only dealing with 1/5 of an inch. There's no way you can do screws, bolts into the
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a magnet based wall mount thing.
Is it safe? Like if there's an earthquake, is it going to fall off and smash me?
Some of these rare earth magnets and things like that get pretty powerful. You can't separate them once they're apart most of the time.
But how would it smash you? Your head would have to be like right flush against the wall at the moment that happened in order for it to crush you.
Well, what it could fall from the wall and then fall down.
But it's
right?
this thick. It's
How
like
heavy
it's
is
like
it?
a piece of paper.
How heavy is?
It's like-
It's more
it's
than
like,
a paper.
like a piece of paper.
How heavy is it? How heavy is it?
There's no
How heavy
no
is it?
specs here.
How
No
heavy
specs
is
here.
it?
However, I can tell you, because it is so thin, there are no inputs. So the inputs are all done through a companion soundbar, which connects to the TV by a very thin cable and proprietary adapter. So yeah,
You just said ugh.
proprietary.
Not a fan of proprietary cables.
Not a fan of proprietary cables.
This guy. right
Speaking of
here.
which,
This guy.
Costco selling
Costco.
two identical chargers.
Oh boy, here we go.
One for
Here we
micro
go.
USB
Here we go.
and one for Apple.
Yeah.
Same contents, same everything. $9.99 on the micro USB cable and charger package. Guess how much on the
I'm
the
gonna
Apple
guess
one?
$29.99.
$26.99, Dave.
Oh, so close.
$26.99 for the comparable product via Apple. But yeah, anyways, proprietary. For those of you not wanting to shell out the $20,000 for the 77-inch, you can go with the 65-inch. It's only $8,000. Super affordable.
Well,
That is actually
it's
quite a
only
bit
12
difference
inches
in price.
Yeah, for just that much, it's pretty impressive that they.
65 to 77.
And I
12
think
inches.
it's all about mass production at that point. Is they've produced a lot more of the 65 inches than they have the 77 inches right now. But so
size does matter, ladies and gentlemen.
hello, hold on, I have a button for that. Where
Phrasing!
There it is.
Hey, phrasing!
Yeah, Dave.
There it is.
Awesome. Okay. All right, so I get to use a new bumper, guys.
Ooh,
Are you ready for this?
New bumper.
Here we go.
ready?
1, 2, 3.
I'm ready.
Son of a!
That was an awesome bumper.
That was
It just
amazing.
said,
Oh
"Son
my
of a-"
gosh! Did everybody hear that?
Why didn't that
Holy
work?
cow!
Son of a!
That was blow me away. I mean, really.
Blown
Pete,
away.
You are awesome.
He really channeled Jones in that one.
Yeah, it was right.
I was
Son of a-
I was being channeled.
I had never heard that bumper before. Son of a!
All right, here we go. Let's try this one out. See if this one works. Nope, you can't play. Son of a gun. All right.
Jones did a great job prepping this one.
Hey, Dave and Jesse, talk about something real quick.
Hey, are you in IT?
Burn. Paid back. I deserved it.
On Facebook Live.
I take it.
Yeah.
I take it. I take the.
While he's working on that, let me tell that whole story. So we
Yes.
were at a company function earlier today, and we did the go-karts. We were out on the go-karts doing the go-karts around the track, and then I got out of the car early, and I got yelled at by everybody because I got out of the car early. So I was the first one to the exit gate, and there's this little knob that you have to pull up on to open the exit gate, and
First of all, he missed the whole contraption.
I missed the whole contraption. I just tried to walk through the gate, and it's not letting me out. So I'm sitting
And then
there
I'm
shaking.
like, pull up until he pulls up on the gate.
I pull up on the gate, thinking that's it. And then there's the handle, and I'm shaking it. And then finally, I figured out you have to actually pull up. And as I'm finally pulling up and opening the gate, Jones goes, "Are you sure you're in IT?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then of
people
course,
laughed, and
one of the guys behind him, we'll call him Mark, just busted up laughing. This is one of the guys that we've never actually seen laugh out
yeah,
loud
it was
before.
it was pretty
It
pretty.
was
clever.
actually
Yeah.
a hallmark moment.
All right, here we go. I think I got this.
Oh
this
boy,
time.
here we go.
Here we go. Let's try this out. And in 3, 2, 1, go. No, go, no.
Son of a!
Son of a! Apparently, these are just bad, Pete.
Oh my gosh, you are so funny.
Yeah, this is.
Do you want me to
this is
move?
not
Do you want to
working
take
out.
a picture? Is that what you want?
Take a picture? It'll last longer.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I am. This is an amazing moment. I brought my new LG 360 cam, by the way.
Oh,
That's what's been
Yes,
sitting
this
right
is the
here.
360
Yes.
cam
It's
right
one of
here.
my newest devices, and I thought it would be fun.
You're
to
gonna
just
set it
kinda
right there and
set it there, and then snap a photo of.
So I need to stay still.
it's taking a picture of all of you.
It'll just
right
take
now.
a quick picture.
Okay.
There it
There you go.
is. The picture's been taken now.
So if I decide to post that, whether I can or not, I don't
Just
know.
like you and me. These guys want their money for nothing, and
Hey, I found it.
Wait,
Son of a!
Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Jesse. It totally
did not
went.
play.
It went off with. It went off unexpectedly. That never happened before.
Did it have a 2-minute delay from the button hit?
It was. It's. I'm in IT. Woo! All right,
Man, this is definitely a Beyond the Routine show. I'll tell you what. We are
talk
beyond-
about that, Jesse, again.
So what I was just going to say is maybe, I don't know if I can even post it because, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff in this room, so I don't know if all of it can be shown, but it might make for a pretty cool picture,
That would.
to see this, the whole setup right here.
And this was a refurb, right? That you got. It was.
Actually, it's not really refurb. I did say that online, but technically it's just an open box. So
okay.
the camera is perfectly good. The LG 360, I got it for $70, which is a great deal. That debuted for $200. The only problem is it's kind of one of the lower quality ones out of all the 360-degree cameras that are out there. And you can see it. When I've been taking pictures, it doesn't have the best quality of
Not the best
photos
resolution, yeah.
in reality. So I've been a little bit disappointed in that. But it's kind of cool. It's actually a great one for a first starter, for a cheapie, to just kind of get in there and play with it.
You
How
know,
does
it's
how
fun.
does it compare to the Samsung one that their Samsung has been kind of giving away? Their
Now, that's that
base-
dome one, right?
Yeah, the dome one.
Yeah, I read they do compare that one to that. That one does have better picture quality,
Okay.
but there are complaints about that. Not as easy to carry around because of the dome thing. And supposedly, I don't know if this has changed since the reviews I read, but that only works with Samsung phones,
Oh, really?
whereas that
Oh,
LG
wow.
works with anything.
With anything. Okay, cool. Yeah, that 360 technology is really cool. I like the pictures of that you can turn out with that. That's sweet. All right, I think I've got this working now because I'm in IT. Let's try this out. 1, 2, 3. Wait for it.
Just like you and me, these guys want their money for nothing and their chicks for free. To be honest, if they weren't married, there'd be no chicks at all. But free money's easier than ever.
Wow.
Chris and Jones explain the easiest way to mine for gold. Digital gold. This is cryptocurrency on Beyond the Routine.
Ooh, a cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency
Check
bumper,
that
right?
out.
We're legit. We're legit.
We
now.
are seriously talking about some cool stuff now. For you
So-
cryptocurrency people out there, this is your segment.
Yes, it is. And as we discussed last episode, the whole YouTube fame has basically come from the Ethereum boom that we've kind of rode the coattails on, and I guess not really coattails per se, but kind of rode the wave.
Do we want to summarize that really quickly? Cryptocurrency, what it is?
Cryptocurrency. So the it's your Bitcoin. You've heard of Bitcoin. It's built on blockchain technology. Blockchain technology can be thought of as like a ledger, a digital ledger, right? So
Untrackable. Digital
yeah,
ledger.
yeah.
Ledger,
So
yes.
it's becoming more and more popular. I've got some stories here that kind of go into a little bit of what companies are doing in regards to cryptocurrency, things like that. So let's start right off with AMD and NVIDIA go after cryptocurrency miners with new video cards. So anybody that is trying to mine for any kind of digital currency right now is having a very hard time finding the video cards to do it.
I've noticed this.
And gamers are pissed.
Yes.
Because they can't also, unless you're got the money to buy the GTX 1080 Ti, you can't find any of the lower end cards right now because they're all being bought up by miners that are out looking for money. So AMD and NVIDIA have thought, well, let's just build cards specifically for these people. So what they've done is they've taken some of the mid to lower end cards. Asus has. Asus is currently making mining oriented video cards using both vendors' chipsets, the AMD based RX 470 and the NVIDIA based 1060 respectively, are being fine tuned to run around the clock basically.
So they're tweaking them specifically for
specifically for mining.
Mining.
Yeah, and they also to be beefier, so to speak. So they're beefing up the ball bearing fans that are more dust resistant, so you don't have to worry about the fans locking up on you. They can run 24/7 for a lot longer now.
Now, for those who don't know, why do you need a video card for mining?
Basically, you're getting into some Steven territory here, Dave. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh boy, is it math?
Yes, it's all about the algorithms,
It's
and
math.
GPUs handle the math processing a lot better than CPUs do, quicker specifically, and with less power. So
There you go.
but yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. They've basically, and I'm surprised it took them this long because this has been a problem for a while now. Is they've been getting sold out for a few months essentially.
Yeah.
So, but they're answering the call now. You'll start seeing some mining oriented cards coming your way soon. First from Asus, looks like they're the ones to pioneer it kind of and
Jump on it and see what happens.
see where it goes. So
Same chipsets as the gaming chipsets, or are they releasing specific chipsets?
no, these are the same chipsets. So you're familiar with the RX 480, or excuse me, 470 in the AMD side, and the NVIDIA based 1060 GTX 1060. Those are the chipsets they're taking, and then they're fine tuning those chipsets to be miners instead of video oriented.
Okay.
So what that typically means is they take them and they tweak the CPU clock and the memory clock and things like that, and the timings and the BIOS and everything else, so that they are optimized for mining instead
Do
of
they
gaming.
also then have an optimized driver for mining?
You don't
Isn't
necessarily.
that part of what you do is
Well,
set
the only
driver to
reason
work?
the only reason you have to do a special driver, it's not really a special driver per se. It's you have to patch the driver. So once you modify the BIOS, you have to patch the driver because the driver will not support a modded BIOS.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
But now that
they're building it that way, they won't have
the
to do
driver
that.
will be fine with it because
Okay.
they're modding the BIOS.
That
So
makes sense.
essentially,
For those of us who, if you have any questions about that, there's a lot of there's a lot of YouTube videos that we put out.
yes, just
About
check out
that
the
specifically.
cryptocurrency YouTube playlist of ours on our YouTube channel, and it has a awesome. It's turned into kind
It's
of
a series, right?
Awesome series and community really for
Yes.
there's a lot of discussion going on. I cannot talk tonight. There's a lot of discussion going on the comments on all the videos. Our cryptocurrency / graphics intern has been amazing in responding and being very responsive to all of these comments and everything. So props to Steven for
I
that.
can tell this is his laptop, and it's just lit up with people asking him questions.
Yeah, on the side there.
Yep.
All right, so getting more into some of these companies and people getting into cryptocurrency. Mark Cuban of the Dallas Mavericks fame,
Yes.
also on Shark Tank,
This is
the
really
TV
interesting.
show,
This is really interesting.
Yeah.
This one.
is about to participate in his first ICO. So what the ICO is, an initial coin offering, and what he's using.
Initial coin offering.
Yeah, initial coin offering.
We have to have these little funny phrases for everything. It's funny.
So he's talking about taking his current company called Unikrn, UNIKRN, is currently circulating an update to its investors about forthcoming ICO intended to supplement the venture capital it has already raised. It's all centered around gambling in this particular case. So, founded in 2014, the Seattle-based Unikrn is an esports betting platform that has already raised $10 million from investors, also including Ashton Kutcher and Elizabeth Murdoch and 500 other startups. So to let anyone in the world bet on Unicoin, or bet with Unicoins, that's going to be the digital currency's name, is Unicoins, and the firm's own digital token, or with flat money in Australia and the UK only.
So what that really means is, as you bet and you do your transactions, the transactions will be through the blockchain technology, which is secure.
Right.
And basically it's a ledger system, so that as you do these, it's secure transfer of monies.
And its limit, it has a limit, essentially. They're saying that there will be 1 billion tokens called Unicoin Gold that will eventually be minted, and it will adhere to the ERC20 Ethereum standard. Again, check out our YouTube channel for the details on all the standards.
Now,
and
are they
everything out there.
Are they opening this up for mining?
Yes. And so
when does that actually happen?
it looks like the wallets is set to go live on the 31st of August. A launch of the live coin integrated with an underlying infrastructure and wallets are set to go live on that date.
So that would be, for those miners out there, you might want to target some of your mining machines for this new
also,
Unicoin. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, Unicoin Gold. And also, something to note on that is not just focus your miners on it, but the minute it launches, if you've got extra cash, buy however much you want.
Some.
Yeah, buy some, let it sit in your wallet, because once these things launch, they typically go up in price. So, kind of watch it. But yeah, that's go ahead.
Do you guys
Jason.
think this is a good idea to have so many cryptocurrencies out there? Like, don't you think the market's just going to become saturated with all these?
Yes, I think eventually it will. Oh, hold on. We have our
expert.
So
yes.
Unicorn Gold,
Yeah.
you cannot mine it. There are 1 billion total, and they're based on Ethereum technology.
Okay.
But they want Ethereum, and they're issuing these as part of the ICO. You can get some of these by giving them Ethereum.
Oh, really?
So you're mining the Ethereum to get. You could mine Ethereum to get the Unicoin essentially that way, right?
Interesting.
All right, gotcha.
Okay, that's
Awesome.
different.
Yeah, no, I think Jesse raises a valid point there, though, with the whole, everybody's kind of releasing these cryptocurrencies, and a friend of ours has basically made a healthy living on cryptocurrency. He got into Bitcoin very early. He's getting in, and he's one of these that does just that, though. He's not a miner per se. He gets in, puts initial investment in when it's early, really early. The minute it peaks that first time, he sells off, right, for a profit. And that's kind of what he's doing. He just has a little ticker on his phone and kind of watches it, and once it peaks, he sells it off. But I think that per se, there's enough of those same kinds of people out there that make an argument for why the market of digital currency can never be stable, is because of just that reason. Like. My next story talks about the Ethereum is finally normalizing, quote unquote, again after its big fluctuation. That whole thing was caused not necessarily by a bunch of people selling off Ethereum, but this one was the initial crash was one guy selling off like 100,000 Ethereum or something like that.
Wow.
And just caused the market to crash. Now, to give you guys, we keep saying market, and in a way, it's like our stock market, right? It's a value based thing. When the stock market plunges, the values of stock plunges. Same thing with the cryptocurrency market. When the values plunge, they plunge. However, safeguards have been put into place on the stock market where when a fall starts to happen, such as we saw with Ethereum, everything stops. You can't sell anymore. They shut everything down, right?
Yep.
Everything's locked up. No such thing in the cryptocurrency world.
Right.
So
because right now it's still unregulated.
yeah,
Which
and
a lot of
frankly,
people argue for, right?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose. Was initially why cryptocurrency hit so big is because it was unregulated. You don't have to report it as earnings. You don't have to do anything with it now, right? So
It's all digital currency.
all digital currency.
It's this ether. It's in the cloud, Joan.
It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud, Jesse.
It goes through the cloud and comes out the other side.
Do you know where in the cloud it resides?
Where the cloud?
Where in the cloud does it reside?
Well, it could be anywhere.
Anywhere in the cloud. Anywhere.
But
Love
somehow you're supposed to connect people on opposite sides of the country without using any of the cloud.
Hey now.
Anyways. All right. So, to bring up that, Ethereum has rebounded as price rises back above $300 a share. So, huge decrease. To give you an idea, this thing peaked at $415 around mid-June.
Right.
And then
Then the guy sold it off.
suffered a correction of sorts.
Went down to around 200, right?
Right, and then
Just a little over.
when he sold off, it basically plummeted like $17 a share, which our friend gladly purchased a bunch. Not quite at that low, but before it had rebounded all the way, he purchased a bunch when it was low, and then
So he bought more?
bought more
Wow.
when it was low, and then the same day got back up to 250 something, and he sold off.
I need
So-
one of these tickers. I need to start paying attention.
Yeah,
paying attention
like I
to
said,
this.
if you've got cash, free cash, just sitting there, it's really not a bad way. But again,
Everything's a risk.
it's
right?
it's a risk, number one, and number two, it's the same reason that there will be these type of massive fluctuations in this kind of stuff is because that's what the market does. If there's a lot of buying and selling going on, the market's going to raise, the market's going to fall, the market's going to
self-correct.
raise.
Yeah. But that's capitalism at its best.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
And to be, I've never understood the forecasting with cryptocurrency, but they forecasted Ethereum to hit $200 by July when the first kind of popular it became popular, right? And people were starting to buy it. They'd forecasted it to hit 200 by July. So based on that standard, we're still not correct as what's
We're still
forecasted.
very much above that.
Still above the
'Cause it's above
the
300
market
right now, right?
forecast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's it for the cryptocurrency news. Let's get into. Let's see if this other one's going to work again. Do I dare? I'm very scared.
Son of a!
Son of a!
Hold on a
I'm
second.
like, we need to make that one of the buttons that actually works.
I gotta find a button that works. Hold on.
Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, House of Cards. These are just 13 reasons why Chris and Jones are talking TV. It's television time on Beyond the Routine.
Hey, you see what he did there? You see how he had these are 13 reasons why? Even though he only named a couple TV shows before that, you see what he did? Yeah, good on you. Good on you, Pete. All right, so television. We have a television bumper now, which we've always really needed because we like to talk about TV here. I brought this story in specifically for Jesse.
Ooh, Jesse, something just for you.
This article comes to us from Ars Technica, one of my favorite news sites out there for tech news and gaming and culture news. So for the first time, a Trek series will show main characters in a negative light. Negative light, Jesse.
What does that mean?
So, Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry had a lot of strict rules for the writers of his shows. Some like the requirement that both female and male officers be called sir. Those were thrown out a while ago. Kate Mulgrew, who played Captain Catherine Janeway, wanted to be called ma'am. So now with the forthcoming series Star Trek Discovery, we're about to see one of Gene Roddenberry's most cherished rules bite the dust. When Roddenberry first framed his ideas for the Star Trek universe, he wanted to be sure that the writers would emphasize the utopian aspects of future life in the Federation. Some of that utopianism was hardwired into the show's basic premise, in which money, war, and racial discrimination and things were things of the distant past, not relevant, not there. But Roddenberry wasn't satisfied with that. He wanted characters whose behavior was exemplary too. So he made a rule which endured long after his death that main characters were not allowed to mistreat each other or have conflicts that weren't quickly resolved. So writers for the various series also weren't allowed to show characters being malevolent.
Malevolent.
I just got it. Or cruel. Of course, there were exceptions. Aliens or non-crew members could be as awful as the writers wanted, as could protagonists whose minds were being controlled by outside forces. This helps explain why our heroes are always being possessed or hopping over to the mirror universe. So, after decades of complaints about these constraints from producers, Star Trek Discovery showrunners Aaron Harberts and Gretchen J. Berg have decided to abandon Utopia for something they consider a little more realistic. So, on this streaming series, that's debuting on the CBS All Access Pass this September, our protagonists won't always be nice. Their behavior won't be worthy of emulation, and their conflicts will get out of control. The thing we're taking from Roddenberry is how we resolve these conflicts, though, Harberts told the Entertainment Weekly. So we do have our characters in conflict, we do have them struggling with each other, but it's about how they find a solution and work through their problems of where they align back with the Roddenberry theme. So what's your thoughts on that, Jesse? You've seen more Star Trek than anybody I know, so.
I'm all for it, honestly. I think the Star Trek needs to evolve and advance if it wants to go anywhere, because if they live by these same rules that have constrained them for years, they're never going to have anything new and original to do, new storytelling. And honestly, as you say, they've abandoned things. They're abandoning this. There were a lot of things, like, take into account, like Deep Space Nine, that had a little bit more grim view of the Federation. Is, as time went on, they did abandon a little bit of his rules here and then, and things got better. Some things got worse, as time went on. Star Trek Enterprise didn't do so well. But they had some really great storytelling out of that when they could finally kind of jump out of the bounds of what he did. So I'm all for it. I think a long arcing storyline of main characters having trouble with each other, I think that could lead to some really great storytelling.
Could be a good thing. So the other thing they're claiming here, and you can tell me what you think about this, is they're kind of chucking the whole planet, alien, giant space object of the week format, right? So every episode they dealt with some big thing going on in every episode, right? That's been long staple of Star Trek storytelling. So now instead there will be a seasonal arc overall with character-driven plot lines, and you can expect something similar to what we see in maybe the Expanse sci-fi series or Battlestar Galactica, things like that, where yes, each episode will have its own arc per se, right? That you can focus on, but then it's still playing into a season wide arc as well. So what's your thoughts on that?
I'm definitely for that, because all the series that I watch anymore are all serialized. They all have a long story behind them. Breaking Bad,
right,
Lost. I'm watching the Marvel Netflix shows. They all are not a Monster of the Week type show like the X-Files was. It's just I am so for that, honestly. And Star Trek did play around with that a little bit, like the last few seasons of Deep Space Nine with the war going on.
Yep.
And Star Trek Enterprise, they decided they had to do that too, because they were failing so hard in the first few seasons. They had this war with the Xindi, and so they kind of went into a serialized format too. And that's kind of the way modern storytelling, I think, is with some of the best TV shows that are out there.
Awesome.
So I love that idea too. I think Star Trek could really use that kind of format.
I always like the season arc. I like the season arc, and they need to have a touch on it in every episode.
Yeah.
If they have a touch on every, they still have the episode arc, but then they need to have the.
On the flip side, though, they got to catch people in at the very get-go, because if you don't, people have such a hard time jumping in the middle of a show like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, because that was the thing that I think I liked most about, I did watch a few of the Next Generation growing up and things like that, and you could watch it, and occasionally they reference previous episodes and things that happened in previous episodes, but it wasn't like it was a part of the whole storyline that you needed to understand to be able to get that episode. And it was, you'd watch an episode and it was done. There was no cliffhanger, you know. Like Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., as you mentioned, Jesse, that to me is the king of all cliffhanger episodes, right? Every single episode, every single week, typically ends in some kind of cliffhanger, which can get old. Sometimes it's cool, but other times you're just like, oh, come on. You know, and those I'm not going to go big into my next subject here because we're running short on time, and I want to give Dave plenty of time for his quick hits and discussion on that. But binge watching. Right, I think that plays a huge part into binge watching for me. There's two main factors. Is depending on what it is, I really like to binge watch series that are over. Okay,
I do too.
I like that. So you have completion when you're done binge watching, right? I like that. Another aspect is binge watch. I will, if I find a series, if I start watching a new series per se that is very cliffhangery. I just made up my own word.
Cliffhangery.
If it has a lot of cliffhangers in it, then I will just shut that one off, put it on my binge watch list, and I'll do seasons at a time with those ones, right? Yeah, sure, the season's probably going to end in a big cliffhanger, but I've gotten through all of the cliffhangers during the season. So that's another thing, is if there's a lot of cliffhangers throughout the season, I like to binge watch those as well. And then last is quick ones, right? The 30-minute episodes on TV typically end up being like 20 minutes or less when they're without commercials on Netflix or whatever. So those, I really think any of those I'll watch first, because you can get through an entire season really quick on those as well. So that's another big binge watch thing for me. All right, the last thing I wanted to bring up on this is, Pete, we're gonna have a new bumper need for you, and I'll get with you on that. But I want to have a what the and then have a bleep story of the week, because a lot of times I'm going through stories for the week, right? And I Dave may or may not have this one on his quick hits, because it seems quick hit worthy for Dave. But it's Walmart is being sued after a teen steals a machete and kills her Uber driver. Yeah. What? yeah. This is messed up. So, and right off the bat, the beginning of this article from Ars Technica talks about the media coverage that Uber's been getting with the whole misdeeds of the upper management and executives and everything else. But the family of an Uber driver that was murdered on the job in Illinois is taking Walmart to court. So in a Cook County, we're familiar with Cook County, aren't we, Jesse? In a Cook County lawsuit, the family of driver Grant T. Nelson alleges that the retail giant was negligent when it allowed the murder suspect to steal a machete and a knife before walking past security personnel without being stopped. And that was right before she hailed an Uber outside the Shikoki store at 3 a.m. on May 30th. Moments after being picked up, the alleged thief, a 16-year-old girl named Elza Wozni, police say, the 37-year-old Nelson was stabbed to death by Wozni after exiting the Walmart parking lot. So it was literally probably hailed the Uber within the store as she's walking out with stolen goods, doesn't get stopped, gets in the car, and stabs the guy to death.
There's a few questions I have. For one thing, did she know the Uber driver?
Yeah, I mean, you can't pick your driver though, right? So it goes to the whole premeditation thing of she stole these weapons from Walmart and ordered an Uber driver as her getaway car, essentially, right? And then, maybe, yeah, it doesn't go into the whole. There's no talk about whether they knew each other before. The story doesn't list it one way or the other. But
I guess it could be something simple as like he saw that she was stealing something and then she got upset.
He tried to say, "Hey, did you just steal that?"
We don't know that part of the story.
Don't know that part of the story. So to go a little further, the allegations, according to the suit, as Eliza Wozni was exiting the store with the machete and the knife she had not purchased, she was not stopped, questioned in any way or asked to show a receipt by an employee or agent of Walmart. And then the suit says, after exiting the store, she called for an Uber ride and got into the Uber vehicle, and then took out the machete and knife from Wozni took out a machete and knife from the display counter where they were located and walked around the store with the knife and the machete in her hands. Gets him out of the display counter, walks around with him. This is a problem. It's unclear whether Walmart employees and their security staff were aware that the girl had the weapons when she left the store. But somebody seeing her walking around the store with them, obviously. Walmart has preserved surveillance footage that might shed some more light on the matter, a spokesperson told us. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Doesn't list anything here regarding any connection between the girl and the driver whatsoever.
Huh.
So yeah.
So if I lend Dave my machete for things that I assume are going to be legal purposes for cutting things,
And then Dave kills Jones.
yeah,
I'm gone.
You can sue Jesse for lending me.
Yes, essentially.
Wow, you're just
I
kind
don't
of a
like
jerk,
that.
aren't you?
I guess I am.
Well, and let's go ahead and really get to the left versus right argument here.
You know-
If we turn this to guns, right?
Yeah. You know
It's-
what? That's where it's going, right?
Yeah, eventually
You
this
know
is,
that's where it's going.
It's we now need to have background checks
So-
on machetes and knives.
Then you're gonna but then you if you can do that, can't you sell the manufacturer of the gun, or sell the vendor of the gun, saying you sold it to whatever or whatever? I just don't.
At that point, it's FFL to FFL type of scenario, right?
know,
So
it's
it's
just-
a federal
it's-
firearms license exchange per se at
Right.
that thing. So I don't agree with the manufacturer being sued, but definitely if Walmart knowingly sold a firearm or gave a firearm to somebody that they knew
But
couldn't
if
own
somebody
one,
stole a firearm from Walmart, if somebody goes into the Walmart, steals a firearm, loads it, walks out, orders an Uber, and shoots the driver, is it Walmart's fault that they didn't stop him from stealing the gun?
I guess it would have to be what's shown on the tape, right? Of how much negligence
Yeah.
was really involved in Walmart's part.
Coming from one who's maybe I'm a little bit more on the left side is like usually with guns you should have security in place, a little bit more security than your average baseball card or something that's in the store, right?
Yeah.
So if it can be proven that they were negligent in what kind of security they had with the item, possibly.
So they can be held partially. I mean, it's only going to be partially responsible, right?
Right.
Because
And
they
I
can be held negligent, so there can be a penalty.
Yeah, it would be a negligence
it would
charge.
Be I agree. That would be a negligence charge. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Not-
mean, the real fault is the person who stole it and killed somebody.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh yes.
But the problem is, and what let's face it, what this is really about is money.
Yeah.
On this particular case, right?
Yeah.
This 16-year-old girl, not judging in any way, shape, or form, but based on her mugshot, probably not a lot in that family gene pool going on. So.
The brightest bulb in the closet.
And probably not a lot of money on that side of the family either. So Walmart was involved. Walmart has tons of money. That's where you go after the people
they're
with the
going to go
deepest
after the
pockets.
people that have money, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, that's the what the story of the week. Dave, are you ready for your quick hits?
Are you ready for my quick hits, Jesse?
Nope.
No? Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, Dave, he's not ready.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Whenever you say.
Ready, set. Here's our intro.
He's the fastest talker in the West and the East and the North, and as a matter of fact, you can't get him to shut up. But he does it in 60 seconds or less. It's Dave with Quick Hits.
Who's
Not those kind.
Not those kind, Dave.
not those kind? Who's timing me?
All right. On your marks. Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
Get set.
Hold on a second.
And go.
Strange gelatinous sea creatures have invaded Northern California coast. The creatures look harmless, but they have caused issues within the fishing communities and may also be a sign of a more ominous issue. Mayhem on Texas Highway as dozens of pigs run wild after a hog hauler's truck crashes.
I see what you did there.
That was cute, right? Germany is constructing an underground beer pipeline. Over 4 miles long, it will transport beer to a metal music festival taking place in August. A Florida woman found herself locked inside a CVS store after employees closed the store while she was searching for a birthday card. A postal carrier refused to deliver to one Kentucky neighborhood due to an alleged snake infestation. In case you did not know this already, there's actually a wrestling villain called the Progressive Liberal. A superstitious woman throws coins into an airplane's engine for good luck, but ended up delaying the flight by several hours. 53-year-old Simon Smith was struck by an out-of-control bus, thrown across a street and slammed into a wall, but managed to walk it off and headed straight to the pub. A Missouri man
Okay, finish this one.
A Missouri man has been accused of kidnapping his sister to stop her wedding.
Oh, that's a way to do it. That'll stop a wedding every single time. So I'm curious about this. I get throwing coins into fountains. That's good luck,
Right?
That's
Yeah.
all kinds of good luck.
Yeah,
but
that was...
what's going through your head when you're like, I'm going to toss metal objects into that their engine?
It was over in China. And it was one of those where you load up the stairs in front of, and she, being superstitious, thought it would be good luck to throw a coin into the engine. It ends up causing engine issues, and the flight was delayed by several hours.
Awesome.
Yes, it was pretty cool.
All right.
I thought for sure you'd call out the beer pipeline. How did you not?
I didn't get that one.
I actually heard about that one, but that was a little while ago that I actually heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, the reason it came back out is because they've just finished the pipeline.
Okay.
And it was built literally for that concert. I heard about it when they were
built for
first constructing it. Yeah. It was just built just for that concert.
But stop and think about that: a 4-mile long beer pipeline.
Why do we? Yeah.
The nice thing is they can use it for the next music festival.
Yeah, exactly. Every festival that goes on there, right? It doesn't matter anymore.
Awesome.
How would you like to have your own beer pipeline, Jones?
I would love it,
Jesse.
Can
A beer pipeline to your house.
Can I change beers?
I don't know the answer to that question.
You know what they ought to
like
have?
variety.
So you know the cable network here,
Uh-huh.
Comcast, like cable, coaxial cable, okay, and you have this big backbone cable, and then they have these boxes that come up that are attached to that, but then they have spokes, right, that you can attach to and go to houses off of those central boxes. So every neighborhood has a few boxes in it that is attached to the main backbone and then spread out from that, right? So Comcast comes, checks, nothing wrong with your house, and then they go to that box and check the box and go from there. So I'm envisioning the same thing, but with beer pipes, huge, like massive, maybe 48-inch pipes
Full of beer.
And then they have these spouts that come off, and you can hook your house right into one. At these boxes, right? These boxes have you can plug in, and then.
But it's like Jesse said, not a whole lot of variety.
You'd have to find one beer and stick with it.
You got to find your beer.
Or maybe it's a beer of the month thing. Maybe they flow a different beer every month.
That's what I was thinking would be a great idea.
Yeah.
It just switches every
But
wouldn't you have to flush out the pipes?
well, you get a little mix. It's not a big deal. And if you're really that anal about it, go ahead and let your spigot run for a while.
But what happened? But then you get charged for it.
Well, you then don't be anal about it. Put your mouth under there while it's and just chug it while it's going. I don't know. I'm just liking this whole thing. I think we need to look into a beer pipeline.
There you go.
Beer pipeline.
The next entrepreneurial idea: a beer pipeline.
Beer
Once you set
pipeline.
it online, it's going to be taken.
Yeah,
It's going to happen.
gonna happen.
I'm okay with it happening. I'm totally okay.
I'm
We
okay.
just won't make the money for it.
No. We should. You know what we should do? We should what's the word? We should. I can't remember. Anyway,
Dave's done.
I'm done.
All right,
Sorry.
everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is season 3, episode 2. Do we have a name? Do we like a name?
Jesse's back.
Jesse's back? All right, that's the name. All right, here we go. Let's close this bad boy out. Maybe.
You have to hit the button.
I did hit
Son of a!
Son of a! It's playing on that channel. Oh, I didn't hit that button.
He didn't hit the button.
That button wasn't hit. Hold on.
Let's try this one
I
more
got
time.
it.
Try this one more time.
I'm horrible with buttons.
Here we go.
I'm in IT.
Thanks for listening to Beyond the Routine, brought to you by our friends at Bastion Technologies and Protocol 42.
Love you guys.
See you later. All right, Facebook Livers.
Love you guys.
What is up, my friends?
Thanks for watching.
Let us end this live video.
We were
Thanks
good.
so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. Tune in next week. You will be Sans Jones, but here with possibly Jesse again and Dave and Stoles.
Mr. Chris will be back.
Yes, absolutely. Bye, everybody.
Bye.